Mark Twain, the famous author and humorist, once said that the human race has really only one effective weapon, and that's laughter. Laughter, levity, humor, and mirth, these most basic of our human tools. They help us to see the world in a new light, face our difficulties with a smile, and when we're lucky, we can share our laughter and joy with those around us. As an academic, I've spent the bulk of my career looking into the power of humor and laughter, and what I and many others have found is that the benefits of them are quite far-reaching. Want to be a better leader? Humor can help you there. Humor improves our health, both psychologically and physically. Do you want to be a better communicator? Perhaps, I don't know, you're a TEDx speaker on a shag carpet. I'm hoping that humor will help me there. And lastly, as a teacher, I know that humor and laughter are powerful allies in the classroom. But one of the tragic ironies of our modern day is that research is also beginning to show that the presence of laughter and humor and play in our lives basically takes a nosedive when we reach about the age of 23, around the time that we leave college. Now, this might explain why I stuck around and became a professor, so I could hang out with my students and they can keep me laughing, and that fall maybe wouldn't have been so much. But the truth is, my students, just like all of us in here, they face difficulties and challenges, and oftentimes in that first year, they will come to me upset, almost distraught about their grades because they're not doing as well as they'd like. And instead of saying, okay, don't panic or calm down, because when in the history of forever has that worked, I bring them into my office and we'll sit down and I'll say, well, if you want to look at my grades from the first couple years of my college career, you won't see a lot of vowels. And as they work out that he didn't get a lot of A's, wait, they're no longer paying attention to what upset them. They're laughing at me. And as a result, the subsequent discussion is much easier to get into, it's much more engaging, and much more effective. Now, two people who know quite a bit about facing challenges are Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, two of the first people to ever summit Mount Everest. And they said, they were very clear, if you're going to undertake any sort of project, you need to be engaged, you need to have energy, or else you're not taking that first step out of bed, let alone up Mount Everest. But when Sir Edmund Hillary was asked directly about the value of humor and laughter, he said, when you face difficulties, when you face dangers, if you have someone there who can make you smile or make you laugh, the likelihood of you overcoming those obstacles, surmounting those challenges, is greatly increased. Now, research that I've done has shown that if you're a leader and you're seen as humorous, you can reduce feelings of burnout in the people that work with and for you by nearly 15%. Imagine that. Just by sharing a joke here and there, you can reduce the feelings of burnout. And we know that burnout is one of the major obstacles that we face in the workforce today. A couple of years ago, I got the opportunity of interviewing a healthcare professional who was well known for using humor in his medical care practice. And as we got to talking, he basically went through all the reasons that the research shows as to why, if you're a healthcare professional, you should be using humor and laughter. And he said, when I'm laughing and joking with my patients, we're building a better rapport. We're having more fun. And as a result, we reach our objectives more easily. But he said, I also know that when there's humor and laughter present in and around a time that they might have a painful procedure, they're going to report feeling that procedure as less painful. And lastly, when we have humor present, they're less depressed. They have fewer negative thoughts, and those all contribute to their benefit. And I thought that was pretty much it. I thought that was the end of the interview. But he came up to me and he said, you know, I want you to know that of course I use humor for my patients. I mean, that's what I do. I'm a physician. But he said, I also want you to know that I use it for me because I enjoy it, because it helps me get through my day. And this is one of the benefits that I think we don't pay as much attention to, because I know when I'm teaching and there's laughter and humor present, everyone, including me, is having more fun, is enjoying it better. And I'm sure you've had much the same experience. It's this little value add, not just to the people that you're reaching, but to yourself, that humor can bring. Now, if you want to be a good communicator, right, there are two things that you want to have happen. The first is you want to have people pay attention. And since I'm standing up here, you're pretty much locked into that game. But the second, the most important one, is I want you to remember what I say. I want my idea to live in your head rent-free. And humor is the absolute best way to get there rent-free. So I have a couple of examples. I'm the only guy that apparently brought slides. So as you can see here, they literally tied the pole into the picture, into the billboard. And what happens is as you're looking at this, and you're getting the little visual play, and you're enjoying it a little bit, you're also getting that message. Now, I'm not from Denver, but because of this message, I now know a lot more about Denver's water conservancy policies, which is clearly going to be helpful in my life later on. But the second one, I call it the McDoors, because it's just so wonderfully playful. If you're an advertiser, all you really need is the first one that tells you the McDonald's is 200 meters down the road. That second one is someone cleverly taking advantage of something in the environment and then inviting you, the passerby, to enjoy it, to have some play, to inject some levity. And whether it be for 3 meters or 30 meters or all the way down till you get yourself those golden fries, that's an important thing that we need to bring back, add more of into our lives. Now, I'm a professor, and I use humor in the classroom. And before my students ever meet me, in my syllabus, when they open it up, they'll find my humor. I use memes. And one of the reasons I do it, it's just a complete, I'm playing right to my audience. The younger generation made memes a cultural force. So I take advantage of that, and I put some of the information in my class in a meme. And as you can see here, I use a rather popular meme, the Willy Wonka meme. And as you can see, it explains my extra credit policy, which is to say I don't have one. And when we get to that first day of class, I'm like, do you remember anything in the syllabus? No, but we remember you use memes. There you go. That's what you want. That's the power of humor. But it's not just that. I know that humor and laughter are good ways to introduce difficult topics. You can use that to your advantage. So I teach at a historically black college or university, and I don't look like many of my students. And they'll oftentimes want to know what it's like for me as a white man at my university. But this is a difficult question for them to ask because it's personal. There's not really a spot in my syllabus that says, on week 7, let's talk about the fact that I'm a white guy. And it's also about race, which is a touchy subject for some. So when I get the sense that they're feeling comfortable enough that they may want to have this discussion, I get in front of it and I say, well, let's talk about the fact that I'm melanin challenged. And right there, that joke has done all the work that I needed to do. You cocked your head, or you're like, I see what you did there. You smiled, or I actually got actual LOLs, not the ones we type in our phones, real laugh out louds. And the subsequent discussion is much richer, it's much more rewarding, and much more engaging. So I want to challenge all of you to find 3 additional things funny every day for at least a month. Because if you're able to do that, the research shows that your life is going to improve. And since I'm an educator at heart, I don't want to just go do the challenge. Good luck with that. I want to give you some tips, some tricks. I want to give you some humor hacks that you can use to increase and find more of your funny out there in the world. And the first one is to take things that you say in a regular way or in a normal way and find clever ways to say them. So I don't say I didn't get a lot of A's. I say there aren't a lot of vowels over there. I don't say I'm a white guy. I say I'm melanin challenged. Trademark to come. Secondly, use memes. They are cheap and easy and everywhere. Drop them in an email at the office every now and again. Share with others around you the things that you find funny. They will enjoy it. We enjoy when we see other people laughing. And lastly, find some low-level, innocuous places where you can put humor into your day, like they've done here, where they cleverly took the barcode and made it a forest with a deer. Because you know that's not for the scanner at the grocery store. That's for us while we're at the scanner at the grocery store to enjoy that time just a little bit more. And it's so easy. Doesn't take much effort. So I want to encourage all of you to laugh often and much. And thank you.